Well, hello, all you beautiful beings. It's so good to be here with you right now in this present moment, right? And I wanted to just kind of ask the question of who is it that you're following, right? There's so many narratives out there right now that are going on in the world, right? There's this side that's saying this and this side that's saying this, and then and it actually seems like there's like not only like the right and the left, I'm just using that as an example, but we also have back in the far 360 degrees around all this information that's coming to us. And it gets very, very difficult at times to discern what is the truth. Because it doesn't matter what it is, what your question is out there. If you're looking for a specific answer, even if it's not the truth, you can find it. You can find it. You absolutely can find it because everything is being presented now to us and we have access to everything through the internet. So when I look out in the world and I see all this information, well, let's just talk about food for a minute. Like eggs are good for you, eggs are bad for you. Hamburger's good for you, hamburger's bad for you. Milk is good for you, milk is bad for you. And you can find sources to support any position that you want to take, or any position that's out there. You can find a group, and you can find like-minded people who will speak the same thing, right? So what is really, really important right now, more than ever, is who are you following? Who are you following? Think about that for a minute. Are you following something that's outside of yourself? Are you following this group of people or this group of people or this narrative or this podcast or whatever? What are you following? What are you listening to? What is your guidance? Where's your guidance, right? How are you interpreting, right? Or filtering all this information that's out there in the world? Well, there's a really, really easy way to do it. But actually it takes a little bit of time. It's easy to do. It's actually easy to say. It might not be so easy to do, but it's easy to say. And that is to sit in stillness, to listen to this. I believe, and anything that I ever speak in any of my videos is always my own belief. But what I believe is that we all have an internal compass, right? An internal guide. Like I like to name it, call it my highest self, my highest expression of being. And an infinite wisdom inside of myself that knows what's right for me. Now that's the really important thing to pay attention to. What's right for me? What's right for Pooki Lee? Because what's right for me may not be what's right for you. May not. What's right for you might not be what's right for your children. We don't know, But what I do know is I can tune into this and I can once I really begin to know myself and I begin to trust this, right? And the only way that we can trust this is our internal guidance, our guidance system. I call it my highest wisdom, my divine self, right? Some people think it's a future aspect of themselves that's giving them information. That's perfectly fine, whatever it is, right? But what I'm really pointing to is what you should be following is this, not me, but you. You should be following the wisdom that you're being given through your own internal guidance, through your own divine source, right? Because we are all connected. We're all connected, right? In this field of oneness, not only to each other, but to that source that created us, whatever you want to call it. The universe, God, infinite wisdom, the creator, whatever you call that, we are all created and connected to that, right? We're connected to that. And so in that, right, that's not all the people that are in the world that are blah, 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 blah. You should. It's your fault. It's da-da-da, right? No. It's all about going back and really connecting with your inner wisdom, your innate wisdom. And when you really begin to listen and trust, you have to trust it. Listen and trust the messages that you're receiving from within. You'll begin to find that you're making choices that are in alignment with your being, right? And so, what I'm desiring to do in this moment right now is bring you to a place where you begin to trust yourself. Now, some people have a challenge with that. They're like, I can't trust myself. I've made really bad decisions in the past or whatever. My belief is that you've never made a bad decision. You've just made a decision that didn't get the outcome that you wanted. Right? But it wasn't wrong. It was just a decision. It's just a decision. It just didn't do what you thought it was going to do. What happened wasn't what you expected. That's all. Is it right or wrong? It's neither. It just is. It just is. So sometimes, we make choices and things like that that don't bring us the outcomes that we want. We begin to not trust ourselves. But maybe in the process of doing something like that, and I know this has been my experience over and over again, where intuition has spoken to me. It has told me something. It has told me something about a person. It's like this person, I could just feel it, right? It was telling me like, this person probably is not in alignment with who you are, right? This person or this thing, what's happening, right? And I would go and do it, or I would be like in pursuit of my own desires, and I would be going after something, and my intuition would tell me, "Don't do that." Like, no, 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 it's okay, don't worry about it. I'm going to do that. And look, I believe that something else is going to happen. Well, when we get that gut feeling about something and we don't follow it, what are we trying to do? I mean, it's kind of crazy to think about that we would try to prove our intuition wrong. Because if we were to ever do that, and it's never wrong, but if we were to ever do that, then we would be without anything to hold on to, right? So these things, these games that we play with wisdom that's being given to us from our divine inner voice, and we don't listen to them, or we just like, oh no, I know better. You'll never win those games. You'll never, ever, because the intuition is trying to guide you and trying to lead you in a direction of your highest calling but we can divert off of that. We can decide to go off and play with these people and get engaged in something, which is something that I did. I went off and intuition was telling me, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And it isn't that this person or this group was bad or good or anything like that. However, they weren't in resonance with what I was creating. They weren't in harmony with what I've come here to manifest in this earthly plane right now. I did it anyway. I spent 5 years of my life with them. And can I say that that was a mistake? No, it wasn't a mistake. It wasn't a mistake. It was a choice that I made. It got an outcome that I wasn't expecting. Oh, I was not expecting this outcome. However, did I learn a lot from that situation? Oh, you bet. I learned some things from that situation that are with me now forever. And one of them that I learned is to never follow anyone. Never follow any human being. I can be inspired by them. I can be uplifted by them. I can be in joyful connection and communion with them, right? But if I'm following them and I'm thinking that they have the answer, this is where we get kind of screwy. We think that they have the answer. So we follow them. But they don't have your answer. They have their answer. They don't have your. And so I learned from that experience never to follow a human being. That doesn't mean that I don't listen to other people. I don't listen to podcasts. I don't listen to other voices of wisdom. In fact, yesterday I spent a whole day of listening to other people's perspectives of what's happening in our world right now, which is all very, very interesting because so many people see it differently. And you can see that, like when you tap into social media, you can see so many people see it differently. The most important thing I'm going to bring to you in this moment right now is all judgment. And do not, if you can, do not assist in anything that would bring division. right? So don't claim to be on one side of the fence or the other, right? My whole thing is that I love everyone. My love is unconditional. No matter what you do, no matter how you show up, no matter any of that, I still love you because the truth of it is that I know who you are. You are the divine essence of the creator itself. You are love. Maybe you've forgotten that for a moment, right? And you're behaving in ways that aren't serving you. But that doesn't matter. That doesn't mean that that's not who you are, right? So when you're looking out in the world, see if you can look out in the world and not have any judgment and not follow anything, not follow. A lot of people are following a lot of things right now. And then tune in, right? You can just do it in some quiet time, or maybe there's many ways that you can access your intuition or your highest wisdom. You can do it through silent sitting in silence and just listening, listening, listening. I like to listen for the smallest sound that I can hear. Listen, listen, listen. Or you might journal. You might journal and just like self in this moment, like you would be have your journal and have a pen in your hand, and you would be asking for your highest wisdom within you to be revealed on the paper, right? And then you just begin to write and see what shows up for you. You might be surprised, right? But that's another way that you can do it if you're not attuned to meditating or to sitting in stillness. However, I want to tell you that sitting in stillness is very powerful. Many, 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 many of the messages that I've received have been in that place, have been in that place. I've received a lot through journaling too, through just like an inspirational journaling. But when I sit and I'm really, really quiet and I'm really, really intentional about hearing the highest wisdom that is relevant for my being today, I hear those messages, they come in. Oh, and then the way that you begin to trust them is begin when you begin to get those gut instincts, begin to trust those rather than not trusting them and doing what you want to do anyway. That's how you'll build trust in your own internal guidance, right? In your own divine wisdom, right? The way that we do that is we begin to trust it. We begin to say, oh, you hear it speaking, and then do that. Follow yourself, follow you. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. Just a few minutes of coming in and just having a moment to talk about who are you following? Don't follow anyone. Don't even follow me. You can listen to me. If anything that I say resonates with you, perfect, beautiful. If anything that I say doesn't, throw it out. It's not for you, right? It's just not for you. And maybe some things I say are for you and some things I say are not. You'll be able to tell by your own internal guidance as to what is for you, right? So many, 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 many blessings to you in this sacred journey of becoming, of unfolding, of activating within us our highest, highest wisdom. And so I look forward to sharing more with you on the sacred journey. And yeah, much love to you all. Aloha. I'll see you again soon.